Well, hey there, everybody. Pardon my hand. Good morning. It's me, Jessica, your health fitness program manager from McLean, and I'm here a little early today to bring you your Friday Yin Yoga Practice. In 45 minutes, may we all be as relaxed as Uncle Buck looks right now. Today's class is all about releasing those stored emotions and tension. So we've got a lot of hip openers because A, as desk people, those tend to be really tight, and B, that's where we store a lot of our feelings. So do your best today. I recommend having a block and maybe a rolled up towel or blanket to help give you a little bit of lift to feel good as we come into today's stretches. We're going to start on our mats in Savasana. I'll give you just a couple more minutes since I know we're starting a little early, surprise. But at least you'll be able to do this class on your own later at the regular time. So 2 minutes till we get started on the floor, laying down in our backs for Savasana. Please make your space smell delicious. I've got a new candle burning. I think it smells like a freshly showered gentleman, or at least what I think I remember those smelling like. It's delightful in here. And the bird's cage smelled pretty horrible today, so yay. All right, 1 minute so we get started. Okay, let's lay down on the floor and do this. Start off, give yourself a little love, thank yourself for coming, work to start clearing your mind. I know, it's easier said than done. Oh yes, that is working. Okay. Easier said than done to clear the mind. We're going to focus on our breath, use our breath to guide our asanas, our postures, and do the best that we can with the body and mind that we have today. So make your way down to the floor, lay down. If your back is feeling good, extend those legs out in front of you, relax your arms down by your side. Or maybe you prefer to have one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Really just noticing your slow breaths. Relax as much of the back of your head and neck on the mat or floor as possible. So a slight tucking of your chin towards your chest. And with every exhale, melt a little bit more into the floor. So start a scan of your body from head to toe and notice where you might be holding your tension. Do your best to use your exhale to relax and release. Every inhale is just being aware of whatever we're feeling. And maybe you can't just exhale and relieve your tension today, and that's okay too. I don't know about you, but I know for me frequently when there's a lot going on, I really internalize things and that hurts. It hurts. So hold all that in. But it's also not easy to just let it go. And sometimes you don't know what to do. Or if you find that you're having trouble sleeping, it's another good time to just tune into your breath. Because no matter what, you are in control of your breathing. Even when you're feeling really emotional or tense, you can take the time to slow down your exhale. To let everything else that's happening go. To clear your mind of thoughts and fears. Or even if you're just distracted by something that has you so blissfully happy. Props to you. Taking the time to tune into every breath, even if it's just a couple in a row. The length of your inhale, the depth of your exhale. And maybe it doesn't feel that way today, but with time, with practice, that tuning into your breath to yourself, letting everything else fade away, truly will help. All right, let's come into our first passively active posture besides this opening breath on the floor. We're going to do a reclined tree pose. So decide which leg you're going to bend first. It's up to you, your choice. And extend the opposite leg out. Try to extend that leg straight, not out to the side. And then you're going to bend one of your legs. So just like if we were standing, don't apply the sole of the foot towards the knee. But either at the shin, or if you're feeling a little bit more flexible, you can bring that foot all the way up towards your thigh. If this feels like too much of a stretch, bring your prop into the party. Oh my gosh, that feels so much better. We're going to hang out here for 3 minutes. So find what feels good with your arms. Once again, just relax by your side. Maybe bring in a little bit more stretch into your chest. Coming into some goalpost hands. Find any sort of position that you can be in without moving, without judgment. All you need to do is breathe and be still. Remember, if your eyes are moving, your mind is moving. So if your eyes are darting across the ceiling, take this time to close them. Or do your best to just find one spot to focus on the ceiling. With your quiet body and breath, listen for the furthest away sound that you can hear. Take your time, carefully switch your legs out, come into your tree pose on the opposite side. So start by sending both legs out in front of you to find the length. And then bend your opposite leg. Remember, you don't have to do the same thing on one side that you do on the other. So just find what feels good over here. Feel free to change the position of your hands or your arms. We've got 3 minutes right here. Yay! Next up, we're going to do a butterfly. It's your choice if you would like to stay reclined on your back. Remember, you can always use your props. You can always bring your feet a little further away. Placing that block once again under your leg can make it a lot more relaxing to release into the floor. So you can stay down here on your back if you would like and do both legs at the same time. Or experience the sensation a little bit differently when you sit up. So take your time. Find a way to sit yourself up. Come into butterfly from a seated position. And then option to take that forward hinge. You can still place blocks underneath of your legs to help you relax here. Once again, close your eyes. Remember, if your eyes are moving, your mind is moving. It's normal to have to keep checking back in with yourself to remind yourself to relax. So make sure that you are enjoying a noticeable stretch. It should not be a painful stretch, but it should be something that you are aware of. And it should also be a stretch that you don't find that you need to keep coming out of it and taking a different kind of breath to come back into. So working to really create a place of stillness. And keep in mind that this is a yoga practice. It is not perfect. So just keep coming back and doing your best. It's always enough. You are amazing just for showing up and challenging yourself. So if you're feeling any discomfort in your lower back, remember you can lay down on your back and take out the forward hinge. Otherwise, you can always keep your hands by your hips and that chest lifted, your belly engaged to keep your back feeling good. And if you're hinging forward, you come forward with that length. And then exhale to release. But feel free to use your hands, to use a prop, pillows. One minute left right here. Great work, beautiful stillness. Take your time, lift yourself up. We're gonna come into tabletop. I'm gonna blow this candle out real fast because it's starting to smell like it's raining men in here. All right, so take just a moment here in tabletop. Give yourself a couple cat-cows or stretches. Just take a moment to be active for 1 minute. Oh my gosh, to do what really feels best for your body, especially now that you've started to quiet your mind and your breath. You've been enjoying that stillness on the floor. We're gonna release ourselves in a moment onto our bellies. We're gonna do a half frog pose with the combo of a sphinx pose. So keep those props, pillows, especially for this one, you might want a little something under your belly. I'll bring a pillow. All right, and go ahead, release yourself down onto the floor. So if we were coming into Sphinx, you'd be bringing your forearms to the mat right here. If that already feels a little bit challenging, now's the time to pull your pillow or your blanket underneath of your belly. And then from there, we're going to draw one leg up. See if you can get that leg into a 90 degree complex. Find a way to relax that upper body. So you can keep pressing those elbows to the floor. Maybe you need to bring your arms a little further forward instead of elbows underneath of your armpits or shoulders. Wow, words. I like it a little bit more right here. We're going to spend 1 more minute lifted in this posture. If you need to relax and release yourself down towards the floor already and make a pillow for your head, you are welcome to. Otherwise, we're enjoying this nice little stretch into the lower back. And also, as you can probably see, this is very similar to the same stretches that we were just doing on our back, just in a different direction. Feel it a little more in the glute here. Oh, I just imagined I smelled pizza, like cafeteria pizza. Am I having a stroke? I don't know, it smelled so good, it was fleeting. All right, relax and release yourself down towards the floor. I mean, like old school, elementary school cafeteria pizza. It wasn't even that good, but it was just, you'd get so excited. Ah, so exciting. All right, we are here releasing emotions and whatnot, so for me, that was a happy place. It explains a lot about my life, that the pizza was a happy place for me as a child, but it was, so great. All right, let's spend just over 1 more minute here in stillness and silence. Just a couple more breaths right here. And then as you're ready, whichever leg you have bent, go ahead, send it back in line with your straight leg. Bend both of your knees and then windshield wipe your legs a little. Right and left, right and left. Relieve any tension that built up in your lower back there, because you know we're about to do the same thing, but on the opposite side. But remember, both sides of the body are different. So do what feels good for you today. Right, Fred? Clearly. Okay, so this time go ahead, bend up your opposite leg. Evaluate if you want to have this pillow or prop underneath of your belly, which makes it a lot easier. This actually feels great on this side. I'm going to hang out right here. But if this is too much for you, remember you can always begin releasing your head down towards the floor, being a little bit more of an alligator, eating a frog, then a sphinx. Just over 1 minute lifted, and then we'll release ourselves down to the floor. Meet anyone else at home who might already be down with their head on the floor. Use these exhales to relieve any squeezing that you're still bringing into your glutes, into your lower back. Work to just gently press your belly into the floor or into your prop. Check in with your shoulders and notice if you're holding any extra tension there. take your time. Let's bring our heads and hearts down to the mat. If your prop doesn't feel comfortable when you do that, move it out of the way. Feel as good as you can for 2 more minutes right here. I think that was 2 minutes. I don't know. Let's give it 30 more seconds. Okay, it definitely was. All right, relax. Bring those 2 legs together. Once those 2 legs are together, keeping your forehead down on the floor, bend your knees, windshield wipe them once more, relieve any tension in your lower back. Next, we're going to come into a child's pose. So press yourself back up into tabletop if you want to cat-cow it out just a little bit before we come into that child's pose. Please go for it. I do. And then if you are down for one more hip opener on our bellies, we're going to open our knees as wide as feels good. Sink the center line towards the floor. You can use this pillow underneath of your belly. And stretch those arms forward. You can place your head on the floor. If it's too much for you to have those arms all the way forward, you can take a generous bend of your knees. We're hanging out here for 3 minutes. So this is quite similar to the butterfly position that we were doing, but once again on our bellies. So just rolling you through a couple different stretches today that are actually very similar to each other, and hopefully you notice how different they feel, how challenging it might be in one direction versus another. let's gently start to work our way out of this child's pose. Bring your hands back toward your chest if they're extended all the way forward. Press yourself up. We're going to turn over and come onto our backs again for a delightful reclined shoelace. So carefully, take your time, make your way down to the floor. We just got a couple postures left before we are finished. I hope you're already starting to feel so much more relaxed and released than when you showed up to your mat at the beginning of this class. Once again, decide which leg you would like to start with. I always like to start stimulating the right leg first, because you're going to get a little pinching in your ascending colon, and then if you do the left leg, you get the descending colon, and that helps to just move everything smoothly out of the body. Sometimes starting with the left side first can encourage a little constipation for some knee to chest postures. So just deep thoughts. Once again, do what feels right for you. It's not like that is a hard, fast rule, but we're here in some sort of a shoelace posture. So if you want, you can keep your opposite foot on the floor and just work to gently open your hip here. And if it feels good, you can lift that both feet off of the floor. Try both. See where you enjoy the stretch most today. You can even use your hands, maybe a hand on top of the knee. I regret not telling you to bring a strap or a hand behind the leg. Or if you were using a rolled up towel today, grab that towel and place it behind your leg. You can even use your block. As something to place your foot on and still get the awesome stretch throughout the backside of your cross leg stretch here. Slow down that breath. Okay, if you lifted both of those feet up, plant the other foot on the floor, deeply cross your leg as we're going to come into a supine twist here. So press into your grounded foot, lift your hips up, roll over to the side. If you're like me and you crossed your right leg first, you're rolling over to the left side. And I'm using my prop here underneath my left leg to help me relax into the twist. Breathe. prepare for it on your next inhale. And on your next exhale, gently start to come out of this deep twist. Uncross your legs, plant both of the feet on the floor, lift your hips up to really glue your lower back down. And if it feels right, you can windshield wipe your legs in opposite directions. And let's go ahead and come into the same two stretches on the other side. So maybe have a prop by your feet. Cross one leg over the other. Make sure you're not jamming that ankle bone against your quad. You can reach through and interlace your fingers behind your thigh. Maybe hold on top of your knee. I'm just going to use this block underneath of my foot. I don't even have it up too high, but just that extra lift creates more of a stretch throughout the outer and back of my left leg, and that feels good to me today. So find what feels good for you. Release your foot back to the floor. Move your prop gently to the side. Remember, you can always place it underneath of your knee. Deeply cross those legs once more. Press into your grounded foot. Lift your hip up and roll to the side of your grounded leg. Remember, you want the stretch to feel noticeable and something you're aware of, but not painful. If you find that you need to keep coming out and going back in, you've gone a little too deep, so just back up, find a spot that you can hang out in for 2 more minutes. Last 2 minutes before we come into our final Savasana for today. take your time, carefully begin to untwist. And then go ahead, extend your legs out, extend your arms out, come into your final Savasana. One more opportunity together today, unless you'd like to rewatch this video later. And honestly, I feel so good right now, I might. To come into your breath, to melt into the floor, to just focus on simply being. Being and breathing. Inhale in as slow as you can. And exhale out to release all of your stale air in your diaphragm. Each breath is fresh and new. There's no time for outside thoughts. Connecting your mind with your breath, your body, and your movement, or lack thereof, here today. I hope that we're closing out this class together. You feel a little lighter, a little more open, both physically and maybe even emotionally. I encourage you to stay down here in this final Savasana for as long as feels good for your body. We're getting in just about 3 minutes together. But if you can stay here for an extra 2, maybe even 5 minutes, continue to just be with your breath, maybe even doze off just a little bit. Do know that throughout your day, if you find yourself feeling stressed, uncomfortable, unhappy, this same breath is here for you whether you're on your mat or in your chair. Finding that one spot to focus your eyes or closing your eyes and taking 3 to 5 truly deep breaths to reset yourself. I hope you had an awesome time in class today. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out. If you are in the fitness center, please stop in. It's very weird to make two-way conversation after my one-way conversation here for over a year, but I'm working on it. We can always just breathe together. Till we see each other again, remember to think good thoughts, speak good words, eat good foods, do good deeds, and take the time like you did right now to nourish yourself from the inside and out. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. Please know that the light within me honors, sees, and is so thankful for the light within you. Keep shining. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.